We arrive now at the last unit of this module on metacognition and self-regulation. I've tried to collect some guidelines which are useful for arranging learning environments with a focus on both the development of cognitive skills and knowledge and the development of metacognition, self-regulation skills, metacognitive skillfulness. Okay, the first advice is to structure the task. Structuring a task makes it easier for students to grasp the task, in fact, to identify the steps to be taken, to identify the components of the task. And this enables students to develop a plan how to conduct the task. So providing a very unstructured and vague environment does put a high demand on the students' own inventiveness as far as developing plans is concerned. So structuring the task is in fact a tool or a help, a support for the students in order to skillfully, also in the sense of self-regulation skills, complete the task. Provide the content is also important, of course, because let's say structure does not mean anything without content. There should be a good embedding of all kinds of more, let's say, logical or structural characteristics of a task, of a learning environment, embedding in the content of the task. Although we have seen that too much details which are not perhaps understood or properly used may in fact distract the attention of students and make their performance less optimal, as it was seen in the study in which the study by Rob Martens and his colleagues, in which providing a more, let's say, abstract paper and pencil kind of approach did help students more than providing all these rich, authentic details. Okay, so content is necessary, but it should be understood and should be acquired by the students. And that brings us to the second advice, no self-regulation unless domain knowledge. That was very clear from the study by Ton de Jong and his colleagues. When you do not understand this particular fluid dynamics area, then you cannot make use of all kinds of support tools which are offered. Understanding the problem is the first step before actually structuring and planning in order to solve problems in the domain which you are going to master. Okay. A third advice is to provide lots of practice, because again, practice helps you to become familiar in a particular domain, and becoming familiar in a domain is perhaps also a precondition for making use of all kinds of support tools, both at cognitive and metacognitive level. So again, familiarity, practice is also in these complex tasks, not only as we have seen in the simple, let's say, in the tasks in which the behaviorist principles of generalization do apply, but also in these where transfer is at the low road level, basically, as we have seen, but also in these complex tasks where we expect transfer to take place at the high road level by abstraction. Again, practice is important in order to be able to make use of support tools at the cognitive and metacognitive level. And the last advice is to gradually fade support, as we have seen in the study by Lisbeth Kester and Paul Kirchner. Gradually fading is necessary to transfer responsibility from the learning environment to the learner, to the student. And that gradual transfer is an important aspect also in these kinds of situations in which the focus is both on acquiring knowledge and skills at the cognitive domain, at the cognitive level, but also at the metacognitive level. Okay, so here we have brought together a few guidelines which has been, let's say, produced by the studies and the theories we have been discussing and exploring. This brings an end to this module on metacognition and self-regulation. I hope you've understood what we were introducing here, and also have understood how you can study phenomena in this particular domain.